He said, "Child of the lineage, listen further. At a time immeasurably long ago, immeasurably many eons past, at that time there was a righteous Dharma king named King Vimala Chandra. Child of the lineage, a son was born into the house of King Vimala Chandra. Thereupon the great King Vimala Chandra assembled the Algara Brahmins and said to them, 'Brahmins, what sort of sign do you see for the youth?' Then the Algara Brahmins said, 'Great King, it is not good. This youth who was born is not good.' The king said, 'Brahmins, what will become of him?' The Algars said, 'King, if he attains the age of 7 years, this youth will endanger the life of his mother and father.' At that, the king spoke as follows, 'Even if there may be an obstacle to my life, fair enough, but I will not kill this son of mine. It is very rare to attain birth as a human in this world. Therefore, I will not commit such harm to the body of any human.' After that, the youth grew rapidly. Specifically, when he reached the age of 1 month, he had grown the amount that others grow in 2 years. After that, the King Vimala Chandra knew too that the youth had grown because of karma that the king himself had accumulated. Then the king gave his kingdom to that youth and spoke as follows, 'May you become a king well renowned and with a vast dominion. Rule righteously with Dharma, not by what is not Dharma.' Then, having granted him the kingdom, he bestowed on him the title King, and King Vimala Chandra acts no more as king of his own land. Then the 1,000,000 ministers proceeded to the place where King Vimala Chandra was, and having reached there, they spoke to King Vimala Chandra as follows, 'O great king, why is it that you are not now acting as king of your own land?' The king said, 'For immeasurably many eons, although I have ruled as one having kingdoms, wealth and power, I have never had enough.' And at that time, at that moment, before much time had passed, that child took the life of his father and mother, and therein he accumulated the karma of the uninterrupted actions. O being, I also remember the time when suffering feelings arose for that king, and he felt regret and sobbed, choking on tears, and I generated a mind of great compassion for him. Having gone there, I taught the Dharma, and when he too heard that Dharma, those uninterrupted actions were quickly purified without any remainder. He said, 'Those great ascetics who hear the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya, the king of sutras, will attain the unsurpassed source of Dharma, the purification of all wickedness, and the pacification of all that is delusional. The Dharma that swiftly sets you free, I shall explain, so listen well. If just a single 4-line verse is explained in a continual stream, all wickedness will be purified, and stream entry will be attained. From all wickedness, one is released.' With this solemn utterance, suffering beings are completely freed from the bondage of the fear of hell. Then the man rose from his seat, placed his palms together as he prostrated to him with head bent down, he approved by saying, "Excellent, excellent, virtuous friends, excellent, those who teach the great method, the Sanghata Sutra, which destroys wickedness, and also for those who hear it, excellent." Then at that time, at that moment, from in the middle of the space above, 12,000 Devasons placed their palms together and came before the sage. They prostrated at his feet and said, "Blessed One, great ascetic, for how long back do you cognize?" Likewise, 4 million Naga kings came, and 18,000 Yaksha kings came. After placing their palms together and bowing down to the sage, they said, "Great One, for how long back do you cognize?" The sage said, "For hundreds of thousands of myriad millions of countless eons." They said, "By which virtuous karma will this bad karma be completely pacified in an instant?" He said, "By hearing the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya. From among the sentient beings who have gathered here, all those who have faith upon hearing this Dharmaparyaya are predicted to unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. If those persons who have committed the 5 uninterrupted actions even just hear this Dharmaparyaya called Sanghata, they will completely exhaust and completely purify their karma of the 5 uninterrupted actions, instantly and entirely. For countless hundreds of thousands of myriad millions of eons, the doors to the lower realms will be closed. The 32 doors to the Deva's worlds will be opened. If that is how the root of virtue of one who also hears even so much as just a 4-line verse from the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya will become, what need is there to speak of one who shows it respect with flowers, incense, fragrance, garlands, lotions, powders, robes, canopies, banners, and pennants, and who venerates it, make drawings, make offerings, joins together cymbals and musical instruments, and rejoices afterward one time, approving by saying, "Well said, excellent, excellent." Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Savashura, said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, as for one who places their palms together and prostrates when the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya is expounded, does merely placing their palms together produce a mass of merit?" The Blessed One said, "Child of the lineage, listen. Even those who have committed the 5 uninterrupted actions have ordered them done and have rejoiced in the doing of them, and who place their palms together and prostrate upon hearing as little as a mere 4-line verse from the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya, if all their karma of the 5 uninterrupted actions will be completely purified when they prostrate, Savashura, what need is there to mention those who hear this entire Sanghata Dharmaparyaya comprehensively? This one will produce a much greater mass of merits than the former. Child of the lineage, I will show you an analogy in order to make the meaning of the Sanghata Sutra understood. Savashura, it is as follows. To make an analogy, 5 great rivers issue forth from the palace of the Naga king Anavatapta, where the sun never rises. If some person should count the drops of these 5 great rivers, Savashura, would they be able to reach the end by counting their drops? He said, Blessed One, that cannot be. The Blessed One said, Sarashura, likewise too, it is impossible to reach the end of the roots of virtue of the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya by counting for 100 eons, or even for 1,000 eons. Sarashura, what do you think about this? Doesn't the one who explains the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya for even an instant undertake hardships? He said, Blessed One, that one undertakes hardship. The Blessed One said, Sarashura, the one who is able to explain the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya undertakes much greater hardships than that. It is as follows. To make an analogy, by means of counting the drops in the 5 great rivers that arise from Lake Anavatakta, it is not possible to reach the end. He said, Blessed One, what are those 5 great rivers? The Blessed One said, they are as follows: Ganges, Sita, Vakshu, Yamuna, and Chandrabhaga. These are the 5 great rivers that arrive to the great ocean. Each of the 5 great rivers is accompanied by 500 rivers. Sarashura, these 5 rivers also descend from the sky with 1,000 rivers each, and by them living beings are satisfied. He said, which are the 1,000 that accompany each of them? The Blessed One said, Sundari is accompanied by 1,000, Shamka is accompanied by 1,000, Vahanti is accompanied by 1,000, Chitrasena is accompanied by 1,000, and Dharmavriti is accompanied by 1,000. Sarashura, these great rivers each possess 1,000 accompanying rivers. They let fall a stream of rain onto the planet Earth. Sarashura, they release streams of raindrops from time to time, and this produces flowers and fruits and crops. When the streams of rain are released onto the planet Earth, water will be produced. By the water that is produced, fields and gardens are all satiated and made happy. Sarashura, it is as follows. To make an analogy, the Lord of living beings makes all the planet Earth happy. Likewise, Sarashura, the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya is explained on earth for the benefit of many beings and for the happiness of many beings. The lifespan of humans is not like the lifespan of the Devas of the 33. If you should ask, who are the Devas of the 33? Sarashura, those who dwell where Indra, the lord of the Devas, dwells, are called the 33. Sarashura, there are also sentient beings who engage in good verbal conduct, and it is impossible to make an analogy for their mass of merit. 2. There are also sentient beings who engage in faulty verbal conduct, and it is impossible to make an analogy for their hell and animal rebirth. Those sentient beings who come to experience the sufferings of hell beings, animals and pretas, have no refuge whatsoever. Their hopes having been dashed there, they lament and fall into hells. They should be seen as under the power of non-virtuous friends, and those sentient beings who engage in good verbal conduct, for whose mass of merit it is impossible to make an analogy. They should be seen as under the power of virtuous friends. When one sees a virtuous friend, a Tathagata is seen. When one sees a Tathagata, all one's wickedness is purified. When the Lord of Beings causes joy on earth, it will be impossible to make an analogy for the happiness of the sentient beings on earth. Sarvashura, likewise, this Sanghata Dharmaparyaya too performs the functions of a Buddha for the sentient beings of the planet Earth. Anyone who has not heard the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya is unable to be completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. They are unable to turn the wheel of Dharma. They are unable to beat the gong of the Dharma. They are unable to sit on the lion's throne of Dharma. They are unable to enter the sphere of Nirvana. They are unable to illuminate with countless light rays. Sarvashura, likewise, those who have not heard the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya are also unable to sit in the heart of enlightenment. Sarvashura said, Blessed One, may I ask about a certain wonder? Sugata, may I ask about a certain wonder? The Blessed One said, Sarvashura, ask whatever you wish, and I will clear away your doubts. He said, Who was that sage who liberated those sentient beings from the karma of the 5 uninterrupted actions, and then placed them, one by one, on the level of one who will never turn away? He said, The speech of Buddhas is profound. Sarvashura, listen to me. The Sanghata Sutra is a teacher, manifesting in the form of a sage. The Sanghata manifests out of kindness, even bodies of Buddhas. As many grains of sand as the Ganges holds, in just that many forms it teaches. It teaches in the form of a Buddha. It teaches even the essence of Dharma. Who wishes to see a Buddha? Sanghata is equivalent to a Buddha. Wherever the Sanghata is, always there the Buddha is. The Blessed One said, Child of the lineage, listen. Sarvashura, at a time long past, 99 countless eons ago, there arose 12 million Buddhas. When the Tathagata Ratnotama arose, I became courageous in giving and honored 12 million Buddhas with the name of Chandra. I attended them with food, drink, fragrance, garlands, lotions, whatever pleased them, good meals, and everything required for their comfort. And having attended them thus, I recall attaining there a prediction of unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. Sarvashura, I recall that there arose 18 million Buddhas named Ratnavabhasa. At that time too, having become courageous in giving, I honored 18 million Tathagatas with the name of Garbhasena, with fragrance, garlands, lotions, ornaments, and decorative attire, as was appropriate to each, and having done so, I attained there too a prediction of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Sarvashura, I recall 20 million Buddhas, and every one of those Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, was named Shikkisambhava. Sarvashura, I recall 20 million Buddhas, and every one of those Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, was named Kashyapa. At that time too, having become courageous in giving, I revered the Tathagatas with fragrance, garlands and lotions, and then I offered them reverential service in the way that service should be offered reverentially to Tathagatas. And there too I attained a prediction of unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. Sarvashura, there arose 16 million Buddhas named Buddha Vimala Prabhasa, and at that time I was a rich head of household with great wealth and possessions. Having renounced all possessions, I offered those 16 million Buddhas reverential service with offerings of sitting cloths, garments, fragrance, garlands, lotions, and blankets, just as reverential service should be offered to Tathagatas. And at that very time, I attained a prediction of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. These two I remember, but the prediction's exact time had not yet arrived. Sarvashura listened. 95 million Buddhas arose in the world, and each and every one of those Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, was named Shakyamuni. I at that time had become a righteous Dharma king and honored those 95 million Tathagatas named Shakyamuni with fragrance, garlands, lotions, sitting cloths, garments, incense, banners, and pennants. And at that very time, I attained a prediction of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. This I remember. Sarvashura, there arose in the world 90 million Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas named Krakasunda. And at that time, I was a rich young Brahmin with much wealth and possessions. Having renounced all possessions, I honor all those Tathagatas with fragrance, garlands, lotions, sitting cloths, and garments. And having offered service to those Tathagatas, as was appropriate to each individually, at that very time, I attained a prediction of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. These two I remember, but I had not arrived at the prediction's exact time. Sarvashura, there arose in the world 18 million Buddhas, and as for all of them, every one of those Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, was named Kanaka Muni. At that time, having become courageous in giving, I honored all those Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddha, with fragrance, garlands, lotions, sitting cloths, clothing, and ornaments. I offered them service in the way that service should be offered to Tathagatas, and at that very time, I also remember attaining a prediction of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. But I had not arrived at the prediction's exact time. Sarvashura, there arose in the world 13 million Buddhas, and as for all of them, every one of those Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, was named Avabhasa-Sri. I honored those Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, with sitting cloths, garments, fragrance, garlands, lotions, blankets, and ornaments. I offered them reverential service in the way that reverential service should be offered to Tathagatas. Those Tathagatas also explained various approaches to the Dharma to ascertain its meanings and the discipline, and then at that very time I attained a prediction of unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. These two I remember, but the prediction's time had not yet arrived then either. Sarvashura, there arose in the world 25 million Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas named Pusha. At that time, I was a renunciate and honored those Tathagatas, as Ananda offers me service now. Likewise, I offered service to those Tathagatas, and there I attained a prediction of unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. These I remember, but the prediction's time had not yet arrived then either.